begin your shoot when the system says not before and definitely not after. Or the last thing that goes through your mind will be your kneecaps. Is that clear?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 20 action movie stars who do their own stunts.
功夫不只是打。
For this list, we'll be looking at movie stars who appear in action films who don't always leave all their stunts to their doubles, and who have performed dangerous stunts themselves. If there's a devil-may-care star you're upset we dare to leave off our list, leap on down to our comments. Number 20. Matt Damon. Since coming to prominence as an action star in the early 2000s, Matt Damon has done a lot of his own stunts.
I know the best place to look for a gun is the cab of the gray truck outside. And at this altitude, I can run flat out for a half-mile before my hands start shaking.
He's perhaps most famous for his work on the Bourne franchise as the titular character. As Bourne, Damon has jumped off a bridge and done underwater filming with no oxygen gear. Still, despite his willingness to do the former before, Damon has since developed a fear of heights. He's still doing some of his own stunt work though, such as performing most of his own fight scenes in The Last Duel. Was he born for this kind of work?
I swear to God, if I even feel somebody behind me, there is no measure to how fast and how hard I will bring this fight to your doorstep.
Number 19. Angelina Jolie. Not only is Angelina Jolie a supporter of good causes, but she also does her own stunts.
Are you armed?
After a fashion, yes.
Beginning with action roles like the titular Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Jolie has tried to be as authentic as possible, with many of her more risky maneuvers on screen. Although she has admitted that this is partly to impress her children, it certainly lends legitimacy to high-stakes moments, like when she's leaping around or hanging out of moving vehicles in films like Wanted or Salt.
Nowhere to run! Quit now!
No, I didn't do anything.
Here's hoping her kids don't try to imitate any of her high-flying stunts at home. Number 18. Hugh Jackman. Given that he has played the X-Man Wolverine for nigh on 2 decades, Hugh Jackman can sometimes feel like a superhero himself.
When they come out, does it hurt?
Every time.
He's certainly reinforced that image by performing many of his own stunts. From leaping around on wires to hanging off a train, Jackman has put a lot of himself in his most famous action role, and it certainly carries through on screen. Even so, for as much as he feels invincible as Wolverine, Jackman has gotten injured sometimes on set, such as in that aforementioned train scene. Hopefully, Jackman's luck will carry through when he returns to the role again alongside Deadpool.
You need a hand?
Number 17. Milla Jovovich. This Russian-American / Ukrainian-born actress and model is as tough as nails.
I want to know who you people are, and I want to know what's going on here. Now.
A frequent fixture of sci-fi and horror action franchises like Resident Evil, Jovovich performs nearly all her own stunts. She is trained in gymnastics and martial arts to prepare for roles like Ultraviolet, and the few times she hasn't done a stunt was because it was deemed too dangerous, like a few jumps, such as in the original Resident Evil film. Lilu has developed over the years from multipass to multiple disciplines, and is a badass in her own right.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Number 16. Christian Bale. Christian Bale is famous for his intense focus in his film roles, often going to extremes to get his body into shape.
Then you become something else entirely.
Which is?
Legend, Mr. Wayne.
Naturally, the actor brings that same forcefulness and devotion to authenticity to his actions on screen, including his stunts. Bale did many of his own stunts in the Dark Knight films, although he was reportedly not allowed near the Batmobile for its stunts. Even he has his limits though, such as in Rescue Dawn, when a helicopter stunt proved too much for him. The guy may be Batman, but flying can be dangerous enough that we don't blame him for being cautious.
Did you get mauled by a tiger?
It was a dog.
Huh?
It was a big dog.
Number 15. Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron may be delving further into action more recently in her career, but she's jumping in with both feet and both hands.
Well then, shall we begin?
Theron did all or most of her stunts for films like Atomic Blonde and The Old Guard. Her long-take fight scene in the former is the stuff of legend, and she injured her thumb so badly on the latter that she tore the ligament. Theron was inspired to go the extra mile recently after training with a certain other action star we'll be discussing later. Hint, his first name rhymes with Blianu.
You want to get through this? Do as I say.
Number 14, Arnold Schwarzenegger. When it comes to action movie stars, Schwarzenegger is one of the biggest and longest running names.
What's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils? Huh? Had enough?
Make it easy on yourself, Dutch.
Arnold Schwarzenegger used to be a bodybuilder, so naturally, he was in great physical condition to perform many of the stunts during his early career. However, he has stayed in fantastic shape throughout his time in movies. Even later films of his, such as Sabotage, have seen Schwarzenegger performing his own stunts. And while he hasn't done all of them in every movie, Schwarzenegger has still done plenty himself. Just look at how jacked he was in some of his films. We'd be surprised if they were able to find anyone that could double for him with that kind of physique.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
Number 13, Donnie Yen. A famed martial artist slash action star, Donnie Yen is one of the most famous Asian stars worldwide.
The Force is with me, and I am with the Force, and I fear nothing.
The Hong Kong actor not only does most of his own stunts, but he is also responsible for choreographing others, as he's frequently in charge of it for most of his own films. Although Yen has been known to use doubles occasionally for some demanding things he can't do himself, when it comes to combat and leaping around, Yen does nearly all of it himself. And when you can fight the way Yen can in real life, we'd be reluctant to tell him what he can't do. Number 12, Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford has had an extensive career in action and adventure films, most notably the Star Wars and Indiana Jones movies.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
However, while many actors would probably have a bad feeling about putting themselves at risk for some shots, Ford is famous for doing a lot of his own stunt work. That famous boulder scene from Raiders, for example, is all Ford. They even filmed 10 takes, and he outran it every time. And age hasn't slowed Ford down much either. He still did many of his own stunts for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, as well as the recent The Call of the Wild. Never tell him the odds.
Never tell me the odds.
Number 11, Buster Keaton. Early cinema also saw its fair share of incredible actors who did their own stunts. Buster Keaton is one of the all-time greats, doing not only most of his own stunts in his movies, but also some for other characters. Some of his stunts are still absolutely incredible today. The man fell down buildings. He held on to moving vehicles, both while running and in the air. In Steamboat Bill Jr., a 2-ton prop house fell down around him. All these incredible stunts were achieved by Keaton himself, and many without a word spoken on screen. Even the name he was known by, Buster, is reportedly in reference to his incredible durability. Number 10, Tom Holland. Given his relatively young age, Tom Holland may not have been in the game as long as many others on our list, but he's already making a name for himself in Hollywood for being willing to do many of his own stunts.
Hey, is this anybody's bike? No? Hey, buddy, is this your bike?
Did not change.
A trained gymnast, Holland has lent his skill in acrobatics to his time as Spider-Man, performing many of the flips and leaps the web-slinging superhero does himself. Even his early film career in The Impossible or In the Heart of the Sea feature Holland throwing himself around to sell the danger and realism. But arguably the biggest stunt of his career so far is the plane sequence from Uncharted, which Holland says took a huge toll on him.
If time permits, Tom to do a jump over a 50-foot drop, catching himself on a chandelier. But I don't think we'll get to it.
I don't think we'll get to that.
Number 9. Daniel Craig. 007 is the world's most daring fictional spy, so it's only natural that one of the actors who portrayed him would also be quite the risk taker.
If they were confident enough to let me do them, I should do them, because it's my face and I think people can tell.
Daniel Craig prefers to do his own stunts whenever he can, which helps make his version of James Bond one of the most down-to-earth and gives his movies a visceral feel. Whether he's hanging off a helicopter or on top of a moving train, Craig has been devoted to doing as much on camera as possible. However, all these stunts have led to many injuries on his part, including having several teeth knocked out, an ankle injury, and even losing the tip of a finger. Thankfully, for Craig's health, he has now retired from the role.
You know the rules of the game. You've been playing it long enough. We both have.
Maybe too long.
Number 8. Michelle Yeoh. When it comes to female action stars who do their own stunts, Michelle Yeoh is arguably the best.
这就是我们的杨科长。
The Malaysian-born actress has been doing her own stunts for decades. While Yeoh's notable for doing her own fight scenes and kicking ass whether she's unarmed or wielding a sword, shield, or other items, she has also done her fair share of risky stunts involving vehicles, such as her early work in films like Super Cop. Even if she hadn't made a movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once, we know Michelle Yeoh can do it all. Number 7. Sylvester Stallone. The Italian stallion hasn't always done his own stunts throughout his long career, but when he can, he does.
What do you think about when the 15th round you're coming out?
Sylvester Stallone has frequently done his own fight scenes, particularly in the Rocky films, where, as the titular boxer, he's on full display in the ring. Even in a recent film like Samaritan, Stallone is still right there, doing a lot of his own fighting himself. But like any fighter, Stallone has had plenty of injuries, like getting a broken neck while on The Expendables or ending up in intensive care after a real punch from Dolph Lundgren. No wonder he's advised others not to do their own stunts. He's got the bruises to prove it's a bad idea.
Well, the party ain't over yet, you know.
Number 6. Tony Jaa. Tony Jaa is a Thai action star who got his start as a stuntman, so it's no surprise that he does nearly all his own stunts. The man can flip, free run, and fight like the best of them. He even developed his own style of Muay Thai. Jaa has had many incredible stunts and action scenes throughout his career, from that famous one-take fight scene from The Protector to his many fantastic stunts in the Ong Bak films. He will go to extreme lengths, even setting himself on fire and actually suffering burns to get a stunt right. Now that's dedication.
Thank you for saving me. Kapun ka.
Number 5. Keanu Reeves. One major reason so many of Keanu Reeves' characters look so cool on screen is that the vast majority of the stunts they do are done by Reeves himself.
Because it's Lana Wachowski and it's The Matrix and you need natural light and you want to do it real.
While the actor had to be talked into doing them early in his career, such as in Speed, doing incredible stunt work has become something Reeves is well known for. Reeves has trained extensively for his parts in the Matrix and John Wick franchises, doing most of his own fights and gunplay himself. He even jumped off a building multiple times. For real! Whenever we see him do something incredible, we inevitably have the same reaction. Whoa. Number 4. Jason Statham. Jason Statham is arguably the greatest British action star.
Well, would you rather be late or dead?
You don't want to do this.
Although he doesn't do all of his own stunts, Statham is on record as claiming that he's not scared to do any stunt, and he'll do as much as productions will let him. Trained in multiple martial arts, Statham's fight scenes frequently burst with creativity and feel authentic thanks to his presence. He's also done plenty of crazy vehicular stunts, thanks to most of his biggest franchises being car or vehicle related. In fact, Statham's respect for stunt work is such that he believes stunt doubles and teams should be eligible for Academy Awards. And we can't disagree.
I mean, you get that sort of butterfly feeling. And it's a funny feeling, and you can even embrace it, or it can really screw you up.
Number 3. Jet Li. When it comes to martial arts actors, Jet Li is one of the biggest names out there.
전장?
Although Li uses a stunt double for most of his non-fighting stunts, his skill in combat, whether on screen or not, more than makes up for it. The guy has been told by multiple directors to slow down his movements because he was going too fast for the cameras. And even when he's holding back, Li's incredible skills have us in awe every time we see him in action. It may be stunt fighting, but it's still mighty impressive.
I want the black stones.
Make me an offer.
You can walk out of here alive.
Number 2. Tom Cruise. We could do a whole list on the incredible number of insane, death-defying stunts Tom Cruise has done. And in fact, we have. Arguably Hollywood's biggest daredevil, Cruise has continually pushed the limits of what he can do on film, to the point where he fired his safety personnel when they wouldn't let him do a dangerous stunt.
The safety guy says, "You can't do that." He goes, "That's too dangerous." And I'm like, and he goes, "So I get another safety guy."
Cruise has scaled tall buildings, hung off planes, jumped between buildings and off of cliffs, and done a ton of running in between. Cruise even flies a plane in Top Gun Maverick, though only in the final scene. The fact that he's over 60 and still pulling some of these things off is mind-boggling. A maverick indeed.
Come on!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan is the king of stunts. While even he doesn't do all of his own, he still does most of them. And the ones he does are so wild, they make even most of the other entries on our list look tame. Given his martial arts prowess, Chan does a ton of stunt fighting. However, he has never shied away from dangerous falls, jumps, and other stunts either, along with plenty of broken bones, burns, and other injuries. Chan has acquired an impressive number of jaw-dropping stunts to his name. Whether he's paying tribute to other stunt performers or forging his own path, Jackie Chan's stunts are always spectacular.
This mission is very important to our nation and national security.
I think I'll have to call my superior in Hong Kong.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.